Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. Tonight, we wander into a hidden kingdom that breathes beneath our feet. A world that hums softly in the dark, weaving through soil, bark, and stone. It is older than forests, wiser than trees, and quietly holds the world together. This is the mysterious realm of fungi. They bloom overnight. They glow in moonlit forests. They send invisible threads beneath the earth, connecting roots and lives in ways we are only beginning to understand. They are recyclers, healers, tricksters, and ancient architects of life. From glowing mushrooms to mind-controlling spores, from gentle partnerships with trees to strange shapes that defy reason, fungi reveal a universe of wonder hiding in plain sight. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, just breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy and allow your mind to soften. Let's begin. Fungi are more closely related to animals than to plants. In the grand family tree of life, fungi sit on a branch surprisingly close to our own. Both animals and fungi share a common ancestor that lived more than 1 billion years ago, long before plants came to be. Fungal cells, like ours, contain chitin in their walls, a tough material also found in insect shells, rather than the cellulose that defines plants. They breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. They absorb nutrients rather than producing their own through sunlight. This deep kinship means that in many ways, fungi move, feed, and grow more like animals hidden beneath the forest floor. Every time you see a mushroom, you're looking at something that mirrors the quiet processes inside your own body, a living reminder that the boundaries between kingdoms are softer than they seem. The largest living organism on Earth is a fungus. Beneath the forests of Oregon lies a living giant, stretching across more than 2,000 acres of soil. Known as the honey fungus, this colossal organism appears above ground as clusters of golden mushrooms, but these are only its fruiting bodies, the smallest part of its form. The true body is a vast network of mycelium that threads through the roots of trees, decaying wood, and stones. It weighs hundreds of tons and may be thousands of years old. Scientists have traced its genetic fingerprint from one side of the forest to the other and confirmed that all of it is one single being. It grows slowly, silently, and steadily, feeding on fallen trees and sending life back into the soil. It is both ancient and alive in this very moment, pulsing unseen beneath the forest, the largest and perhaps most patient organism on Earth. Some fungi glow in the dark deep within forests. In the stillness of night, certain mushrooms shine with their own gentle light. This phenomenon, known as bioluminescence, is caused by enzymes within the fungus that react with oxygen to produce a soft green glow. Dozens of species around the world display this mysterious radiance, from the ghost fungus of Australia to the delicate mycena mushrooms that illuminate fallen logs in the tropics. Scientists believe the light may attract insects that help disperse spores, though its beauty seems to exist for its own quiet sake. Ancient people once called them fairy fire, thinking spirits lit their path through the forest. When your eyes adjust to the darkness, the glow feels almost alive, a heartbeat within the earth itself. These mushrooms remind us that nature's light does not only come from stars, but from life itself, reaching outward through the dark. Fungi communicate with each other through underground networks. Hidden beneath the soil, threads of mycelium form one of the most intricate communication systems on Earth. These networks link trees, plants, and other fungi in a vast, pulsing web. When one tree is under stress, Nearby fungi can transmit chemical and electrical signals through the network, alerting others to share nutrients or strengthen their defenses. Scientists have measured these signals moving at speeds similar to nerve impulses in animals. Some call it the wood wide web, a phrase that captures the living intelligence of the forest floor. Though fungi do not think in the way we do, they sense, respond, and share in astonishing ways. Through these hidden threads, the forest speaks softly to itself, whispering messages through the earth that keep the balance of life intact. Mushrooms can appear overnight after rainfall. When rain falls on damp soil, mycelium beneath the ground awakens. What seems like a sudden miracle is actually the result of quiet growth, long in the making. The mushroom is only the fruiting body of the fungus, waiting for just the right conditions to emerge. Moisture, warmth, and darkness combine, and within hours, pressure inside the cells expands, lifting the cap through the soil. A bare patch of ground can transform by morning into a ring of mushrooms glistening with dew. To ancient eyes, this must have seemed pure magic, a sign of unseen spirits working through the night. But it is nature's design, a patient organism waiting for its moment to bloom, release spores, and then vanish again into the quiet underground world that sustains it. Some fungi can survive in space, in the cold emptiness above Earth, where radiation and vacuum destroy most life. Certain fungi have endured. Scientists sent spores of hardy species such as Aspergillus and Cladosporium aboard the International Space Station to test their limits. Months later, the spores returned alive, their cells still able to grow. Their protective pigments and dense walls shield them from cosmic rays, and some even feed on radiation itself. One type, found growing near Chernobyl, thrives on energy that would kill most organisms. The ability of fungi to survive such extremes suggests that life might spread between planets, drifting on dust or meteor fragments. It also teaches us how resilient life can be, clinging to existence even in the silent, frozen dark. Fungi may be the ultimate survivors, their quiet strength reaching beyond the world that birthed them. Fungi helped plants colonize land hundreds of millions of years ago. Before forests, before flowers, before even the first green leaves unfurled on dry ground, fungi were there. When early plants began to emerge from the oceans, they faced barren rock and lifeless soil. Fungi formed partnerships with their roots, breaking down minerals and sharing nutrients in exchange for sugars. Together they transformed desolation into fertile earth. Fossil evidence shows these ancient alliances dating back over 400 million years, shaping the very landscapes we now walk upon. Without fungi, plants might never have spread across continents. Every tree, every blade of grass carries within its roots the memory of this ancient friendship. Even now, most plants still rely on fungal partners to draw nourishment from the soil, a living echo of the moment when land first turned green. The air we breathe is filled with invisible fungal spores. Each breath carries the unseen fingerprints of the fungal world. Spores drift through every layer of the atmosphere, rising from forest floors, compost piles, and city parks. A single cubic meter of air can contain thousands of them, each a tiny capsule of potential life waiting to land on the right surface. Some are carried across oceans by wind currents, others fall gently with rain. They are part of the natural rhythm of the planet, spreading nutrients, seeding decay, and reminding us that fungi are everywhere, though rarely seen. Most spores are harmless, some vital to decomposition, a few capable of starting new fungal colonies. They connect the breath of the forest to our own lungs, forming a cycle that never stops. Even in the cleanest air, the quiet presence of fungi moves unseen, a reminder that life is always floating just beyond sight. Certain fungi can digest plastic and petroleum. In the search for solutions to pollution, scientists discovered that some fungi possess enzymes capable of breaking down synthetic materials. Strains of Aspergillus and Pestalottiopsis have been observed consuming polyurethane and other plastics that usually persist for centuries. Others can digest petroleum residues, turning toxic compounds into simpler, harmless molecules. These fungi thrive where few life forms can survive, growing on waste dumps, oil spills, and decaying plastics. The hope is that they might one day help clean the planet, turning human excess into renewal. Researchers are exploring how to harness these enzymes on an industrial scale, creating natural recycling systems guided by fungal ingenuity. In their patient chemistry, fungi show that even our toughest inventions can return to the earth, given enough time, moisture, and life's persistent will to transform. Mycelium networks can cover vast distances beneath the soil. Beneath your feet, invisible threads of mycelium stretch through the ground like living lace. In a single forest, these networks can weave for hundreds of kilometers, wrapping around roots, stones, and decaying leaves. Each strand is only a few micrometers thick, but carries messages and nutrients from one part of the ecosystem to another. Water, minerals, and sugars move through the network, creating balance between plants and fungi. The scale of these connections rivals that of the internet itself. Scientists studying them find patterns that echo neural pathways, highways of living communication. The ground, it turns out, is not silent. It hums with exchange and awareness, all made possible by the silent spread of mycelium. In its endless reach, the Earth's hidden web ties together every forest, meadow, and field into one breathing, interconnected life. Fungi can influence the behavior of insects and animals. Among the strangest wonders of the natural world are fungi that do not just live inside other creatures, but guide their actions. Certain species of cordyceps infect insects such as ants or caterpillars. Once inside, the fungus grows through the host's body, feeding quietly while releasing subtle chemicals that alter behavior. The infected insect begins to climb upward, gripping a leaf or twig before dying. From its body, the fungus grows a spore-bearing stalk, perfectly positioned to release new spores into the air. Similar influences appear in mammals too. Some fungi produce compounds that alter animal moods or attraction to scent. Others lure creatures to spread their spores by mimicking food. These interactions blur the boundary between control and cooperation. When seen together, they form a quiet reminder that the world's hidden kingdoms are constantly shaping one another in ways that feel almost like intention. The color and shape of mushrooms often warn predators of toxicity. In the deep palette of the forest, color is language. Many mushrooms display brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows that tell passing animals they are dangerous to eat. This warning system evolved just as it did in frogs or butterflies. Toxic compounds produced by fungi can cause nausea, paralysis, or hallucination. So natural selection favored those that could announce their danger visually. The fly agaric, with its bright red cap and white spots, is one of the most famous examples, both beautiful and potent. Some species mimic these warning colors without being toxic themselves, taking advantage of fear learned by animals that have tasted the real thing. The shapes of mushrooms also signal their function. Thin, delicate caps drop spores easily in wind, while rounded ones protect them from rain. Each form, from fragile to towering, is an adaptation to communicate, survive, and continue the endless cycle of fungal life. Some fungi form symbiotic partnerships with trees, trading nutrients for sugars. Beneath every healthy forest is a living economy. fungal threads wrap around and into tree roots, forming structures known as mycorrhizae. Through these junctions, trees provide sugars made by photosynthesis, while fungi deliver minerals and water gathered from the soil. This partnership is ancient and essential. Trees without their fungal partners struggle to thrive. The exchange is not fixed, but flexible. When one tree receives more sunlight, its fungal network can share surplus energy with shaded neighbors. The forest becomes a community that balances itself through invisible trade. Scientists studying these relationships have found that even different species of trees can be linked through one fungal system, sharing nutrients across distances. The roots and fungi act together as a single living body, a blend of cooperation and quiet negotiation. This underground alliance sustains nearly every forest on Earth, a slow conversation between wood and thread that never ends. There are more species of fungi on Earth than of plants. While plants fill our vision with green, the fungal world fills the soil, air, and water with diversity that far exceeds it. Scientists have formally described only a fraction of fungal species, yet genetic surveys suggest there may be millions still unknown. Every handful of soil, every leaf surface, every decaying log hides countless varieties. Some are microscopic, others produce vast fruiting bodies, and many exist only as networks of mycelium that never form mushrooms at all. New species are discovered constantly, from tropical forests to the frozen tundra. This immense diversity reflects fungi's ancient adaptability. They digest wood, bone, oil, and even radiation. Their chemistry varies wildly, producing colors, scents, and compounds that influence life in endless ways. Though unseen, fungi make up one of the largest and least explored kingdoms on Earth, a hidden majority quietly supporting the rest of the biosphere. Some mushrooms release their spores with tiny explosive bursts. If you could slow time, you would see that some mushrooms spread their spores in quick bursts of force. Deep inside their gills, cells build up pressure until a microscopic droplet of moisture forms at just the right angle. When it touches the spore's surface, it shifts the center of mass and releases energy like a spring. The spore is launched into the air at speeds that, for its size, rival a bullet. Billions of these silent explosions happen every hour across the world, filling the air with an invisible mist of life. Some fungi add extra mechanics, creating puffballs that erupt when touched by raindrops or animals, sending clouds of spores drifting on the wind. These perfect, tiny engines of dispersal reveal how evolution shapes even the smallest motions to achieve survival. What looks like stillness is, in truth, a forest breathing through countless bursts of creation. Fungi can grow inside human-made structures and even inside art. When conditions are damp and still, fungi appear in the most unexpected places. They colonize old wallpaper, wooden beams, and ancient canvases. In archives and museums, conservators battle them constantly because some species digest organic pigments, glue, or even parchment. Microscopic spores settle quietly, and when humidity rises, mycelium threads creep through layers of paint or pasta, feeding on oils and binding agents. Entire frescoes and books have been slowly devoured this way. Yet fungi are not always destructive intruders. Some artists now work with them intentionally, allowing growth to shape evolving patterns on cloth or clay. Mycelium's fine texture can become part of sculpture or design, linking decay to creation. Whether as uninvited guests or creative partners, fungi remind us that nothing humans build is entirely separate from nature. Even our art can become part of life's patient, consuming, and renewing cycle beneath time's slow hand. Yeasts are fungi that helped humans invent bread, beer, and wine. Tiny and unseen, yeasts have shaped human civilization. These single-celled fungi feed on sugars, releasing carbon dioxide and alcohol as byproducts. Thousands of years ago, ancient bakers and brewers noticed that dough left to rest rose, and that fruit juice left to stand began to bubble. They were witnessing yeast at work, turning simple ingredients into the familiar comforts of bread, beer, and wine. Each region of the world nurtured its own strains, adapted to its grains and fruits. Even now, modern fermentations rely on descendants of these early companions. Yeasts are natural chemists, producing not only alcohol but also vitamins, enzymes, and aromatic compounds that influence flavor and texture. They continue to serve us in medicine and research, yet their origins remain wild and free. Long before we understood them, they had already woven themselves into our stories, celebrations, and daily sustenance. Certain fungi live entirely underwater. Though most people imagine fungi as creatures of forests, many thrive in lakes, rivers, and even deep oceans. Aquatic fungi feed on drifting wood, algae, and organic debris that settle on the seafloor. Some attach to the shells of crustaceans or the bodies of microscopic plankton, forming delicate webs that drift with the current. Others live symbiotically within aquatic plants, helping them absorb nutrients. These submerged species release spores that swim using tiny flagella, propelled like living sparks through the water. They recycle vast amounts of material, ensuring that even in the deepest, coldest regions, nothing goes to waste. Marine biologists exploring hydrothermal vents have found fungi living where darkness and heat would seem impossible for life. Hidden beneath waves and pressure, they extend the fungal kingdom into another realm entirely, a silent network of recyclers and explorers shaping the unseen life of the ocean. Lichens are not single organisms, but partnerships between fungi and algae. A lichen looks like a single living thing clinging to stone or bark, but it is actually a collaboration between two very different forms of life. The fungal partner provides structure and protection, creating a stable home that can endure wind, drought, and cold. Inside that structure live tiny algae, or cyanobacteria, that capture sunlight and produce food. The result is a miniature ecosystem, a partnership so complete that scientists once mistook it for one species. Lichens grow in some of the harshest places on Earth, from mountaintops to Arctic tundra. They can survive freezing, drying, and even direct space exposure. As they slowly digest rock into soil, they help prepare the way for other organisms to follow. Each crust or tuft on a stone wall is both fungus and algae, living as one, proof that cooperation can build entire worlds where solitude would fail. Some fungi can survive extreme heat and radiation. At volcanic vents, inside nuclear reactors, and in deserts where sunlight scorches stone, fungi persist. Species found near Chernobyl have astonished scientists by thriving in high radiation zones. Their dark pigments appear to shield them and may even let them harvest energy from the radiation itself. In volcanic areas, thermophilic fungi grow where temperatures climb higher than boiling water would normally allow. Others endure desiccation and then revive after years of drought. This resilience comes from flexible cell structures and specialized proteins that repair damage almost instantly. These survival skills suggest that if life can exist anywhere beyond Earth, fungi or their relatives might be the first to endure. On our own planet, they remind us that survival is not always loud or fast. Sometimes it is slow, quiet, and deeply rooted in the art of adaptation to extremes. Fungi recycle dead matter and keep ecosystems alive. Every fallen leaf, branch, or animal body eventually becomes part of the soil again because fungi are there to take it apart. They release powerful enzymes that dissolve complex molecules like cellulose and lignin. materials most creatures cannot digest. As they consume, they release nutrients back into the ground, feeding plants and microorganisms. Without this process, ecosystems would fill with debris and the chain of life would halt. Fungi are the planet's recyclers, the silent engineers who maintain balance. In forests, their networks wrap through decomposing logs, breaking them into rich, dark earth. In grasslands and tundra, they digest dead roots and return carbon to the cycle. Even in cities, fungi reclaim old wood, paper, and fabric. Life depends on their endless work. They show that decay is not an end, but a transformation, the Earth's way of breathing through the rhythm of renewal. Without fungi, forests would drown in their own fallen leaves. Each autumn, trees release their leaves in vast numbers. Without fungi, those leaves would pile higher each year, choking new growth and sealing the soil from air and light. Instead, fungal networks move swiftly, threading through the litter, releasing enzymes that break down cellulose and lignin. Within months, what was once a thick carpet of decay becomes part of the forest floor, feeding roots and small creatures. Earthworms, bacteria, and insects assist, but fungi do the heavy work. They are the reason forests remain open and breathable, not buried under endless layers of the past. The scent of damp soil after rain, the feel of rich humus beneath your feet, the cycle of green returning each spring, all trace back to fungal labor. They are the quiet custodians of time, turning death into soil and soil into life again, keeping the endless loop unbroken. Some fungi can break down rocks and help form soil. Long before plants covered the continents, fungi were shaping stone into earth. Certain species release acids that slowly dissolve minerals, freeing nutrients such as iron, calcium, and phosphorus. As they grow through cracks and crevices, they pry apart the rock, blending fragments with organic matter to create the first primitive soils. Today, this process continues on mountainsides and volcanic islands. Microscopic fungal threads weave into tiny fissures, accelerating weathering and feeding mosses and lichens that arrive later. Even the cliffs and boulders we see as permanent are slowly being softened by this patient chemistry. In this way, fungi are the true architects of landscapes. They prepared the world for roots and forests, carving the surface of stone into ground that could support life. Each handful of soil is a living record of their ancient art, born from the slow conversation between rock and organism. The scent of truffles comes from gases that mimic animal pheromones. Truffles, the prized underground fungi, rely on animals to find and spread their spores. To attract them, truffles release a rich aroma made of complex gases that resemble mammalian pheromones. Pigs, dogs, and even wild boars can detect this scent from remarkable distances, digging eagerly for the buried treasure. The chemistry of the smell combines earthy, musky, and slightly sweet tones, designed not for human delight, but for the senses of animals that will carry the spores elsewhere. When humans harvest them, we are intruding on a conversation between fungus and forager that has been unfolding for millions of years. Each truffle that reaches a market once formed underground in partnership with tree roots, fed by their sugars, then called to the surface through scent. What we taste as luxury began as an invitation whispered through the soil to creatures following their noses beneath the forest floor. Fungi can produce natural antibiotics like penicillin. When Alexander Fleming noticed mold-killing bacteria in his petri dishes, he stumbled upon one of nature's oldest weapons. The penicillium fungus produces compounds that inhibit bacterial growth, protecting its territory from microbial rivals. These molecules became the foundation of modern antibiotics, saving countless human lives. Yet fungi had been using this strategy for ages before we understood it. In soil and decaying matter, microbes battle constantly, releasing chemical defenses that maintain balance. Fungi are masters of this invisible warfare, crafting complex molecules that humans now study for new medicines. Other species produce antifungals, antivirals, and compounds that influence immunity or pain. The world's greatest pharmacy may lie beneath our feet, hidden in the slow chemistry of decay. Each discovery reminds us that survival can be both fierce and generous, and that healing often comes from the same forces that once defended life in the dark. Certain species of fungi create hallucinogenic compounds. Some mushrooms alter perception by producing chemicals that interact with the human brain. These compounds, such as psilocybin, mimic neurotransmitters that shape emotion and thought. In ancient cultures, people used them in rituals and healing ceremonies to seek insight or spiritual connection. Modern science is now exploring their potential to treat depression, anxiety, and addiction. The experience they provoke comes not from poison, but from chemistry, evolved for unknown reasons, perhaps as a defense against insects or as a byproduct of metabolism. These mushrooms grow quietly in forests and fields, blending with the ordinary world while holding molecules that can open entire landscapes of the mind. They remind us that consciousness and biology are intertwined, and that nature's smallest creatures can reach the deepest layers of human experience, not through force, but through subtle conversation with the brain's delicate circuitry. Some fungi trap and consume microscopic worms. In the miniature universe of soil, nematode worms glide through water films between grains of dirt. Some fungi have evolved to hunt them. They form tiny loops and nets from their filaments, each coated with sticky or constricting surfaces. When the worm swims through, the trap tightens, holding it fast. The fungus then penetrates the body and absorbs nutrients, turning the hunter into a slow but precise predator. These tactics are astonishingly diverse. Some use adhesive knobs, others build elegant rings that act like lassos. Although invisible to the naked eye, this predation helps regulate soil populations and recycles nitrogen. It reveals that even on the scale of micrometers, the struggle for survival has its dramas and strategies. In the soil beneath our shoes, an unseen hunt unfolds every day, a reminder that nature's intricacies continue in places smaller than a raindrop. The mycelium of a forest connects trees in a vast living web. Beneath the forest floor, mycelium forms bridges between tree roots, linking individuals into a shared system that can span entire ecosystems. Through these threads, nutrients, chemical messages, and even distress signals travel from one tree to another. A healthy adult tree might share carbon with a shaded seedling, helping it survive until it reaches sunlight. When insects attack one species, nearby trees may receive warnings and prepare defenses. Researchers compare this network to a kind of social structure that binds the forest together. The fungi gain energy from sugars provided by the trees, creating a partnership built on exchange and awareness. Every root tip is both a beginning and a connection point, part of a living web that moves slower than thought, but carries more wisdom than words. The forest's unity lies beneath the surface, in the quiet conversations of fungi and trees. Fungi can store and transport information through electrical pulses. Within fungal networks, scientists have detected rhythmic electrical signals that move through the filaments. These pulses resemble patterns of activity seen in animal nervous systems. Each signal may correspond to changes in temperature, moisture, or nutrients. Some species produce bursts of activity that appear to encode information about their surroundings, allowing different parts of the network to respond together. The timing and intensity of the pulses can vary in ways that suggest memory and coordination. Though fungi do not possess neurons or brains, their electrical language demonstrates a primitive intelligence of flow and feedback. It is as if the mycelium feels its environment in waves of current, adjusting growth and direction based on what it learns. This subtle communication hints that awareness in nature is not confined to animals alone, but may pulse quietly in the dark beneath our feet. Some fungi mimic flowers to attract pollinators. Among the most inventive organisms on Earth, certain fungi have evolved to resemble blossoms. They produce structures that copy the color, scent, or shape of flowers, luring insects that normally visit plants. When a curious fly or beetle lands, expecting nectar, the fungus coats it with spores instead. The insect carries these to the next fungal bloom, spreading the species just as bees spread pollen. Some even release fragrances that imitate decaying fruit or carrion to attract specialized pollinators. In this imitation, fungi borrow the success of plants, proving that evolution often repeats its best ideas across different kingdoms. What appears to be a simple mushroom may in fact be a master of disguise, performing a quiet trick in the shadows. Through mimicry, these fungi turn deception into art, ensuring survival through beauty, illusion, and the timeless patience of adaptation. Certain fungi thrive inside the fur of sloths. Deep in the rainforests of Central and South America, sloths move so slowly that moss and fungi take root in their fur. Among the strands of coarse hair, entire microecosystems flourish. Scientists studying sloths have discovered several species of fungi that live nowhere else on Earth, unique to these gentle creatures. Some of these fungi may even produce chemical compounds with antibacterial or antifungal properties, protecting the sloth's skin and deterring parasites. In return, the sloth provides a moist, shaded habitat, while the fungus contributes to the camouflage that helps the animal blend into tree canopies. This quiet partnership between mammal and microbe blurs the boundary between organism and environment. Each sloth carries a tiny, living rainforest on its back, a soft garden of symbiosis that sways with every slow motion through the leaves. It is a perfect example of nature's layered cooperation, hidden in plain sight. The spores of some fungi can travel across continents on the wind. Though invisible, fungal spores are some of the most successful travelers in nature. Light as dust and built for endurance, they rise into the sky with the slightest air current. Some reach the upper atmosphere, where powerful winds can carry them across oceans and entire continents. Scientists have detected spores over the Atlantic that originated in African soil, and others drifting from South America toward Antarctica. Many remain viable after such journeys, ready to grow once they land in suitable conditions. This global circulation connects ecosystems far apart, spreading diversity and renewing fungal populations everywhere. In a sense, the air above us is a shared highway of life, linking forests, deserts, and mountains in an endless exchange. Every breath of wind carries the planet's history, its decay, and its renewal, written in the tiny seeds of fungi that never stop moving across the sky. Bioluminescent mushrooms may glow to attract insects that spread their spores. In forests where the night is deep and still, some mushrooms shine softly with green or blue light. Their glow is not just beautiful, but purposeful. Research suggests that insects, drawn to the light, crawl across the luminous caps and gills, picking up spores that cling to their legs. When the insects wander away, they scatter those spores to new habitats, continuing the fungal lineage. The glow's rhythm and color may even vary slightly to catch the attention of particular nocturnal species. Humans, too, have long been enchanted by this phenomenon, calling such mushrooms foxfire or ghost fungus. Whether seen by moth, beetle, or person, The bioluminescent glow reveals an ancient partnership between light and life, communication through color that crosses species and senses. Each glowing cap beneath the trees is both a lantern and a message, written in chemistry and seen only by those who wander in darkness. Fungi can survive without sunlight by digesting organic matter. While plants rely on light to make food, fungi live in shadow. They draw energy from the remains of other living things, using enzymes to dissolve complex materials into simple compounds they can absorb. This ability frees them from dependence on the sun. Deep inside caves, under layers of soil, and in the remains of fallen trees, fungi continue to grow where no light reaches. Some even thrive in the buried chambers of ancient tombs or the depths of ocean sediments. Their metabolism is flexible, adapting to whatever carbon source the environment provides. In ecosystems where light fades or disappears entirely, fungi keep the cycle of life in motion, turning death into sustenance and darkness into growth. They are the quiet reminders that life does not only bloom under sunlight. It also endures patiently in the dark, feeding on memory and transformation. Some mushrooms produce natural dyes used for coloring fabrics. Long before synthetic dyes filled the world with color, people turned to fungi for pigments. Certain species contain vibrant compounds that can tint wool, silk, and cotton in shades of gold, crimson, green, and violet. The dyer's polypore, for instance, yields a soft golden hue, while other fungi create earthy browns and deep blues. The process is slow and intimate. Mushrooms are gathered, boiled, and combined with natural mordants to bind the color to fabric. Every batch varies slightly, reflecting the conditions of the forest that birthed it. Modern textile artists have revived this ancient art, using foraged fungi to create sustainable, chemical-free dyes. Each piece carries the forest's palette, drawn from decay and renewal. In every thread, there is a trace of woodland alchemy, color born from the hidden chemistry of mycelium, spores, and time itself. Mycelium can be turned into sustainable building materials. Architects and engineers have begun to grow with fungi instead of building against them. Mycelium, the root-like body of fungi, can be cultivated in molds to create lightweight, fire-resistant materials stronger than some plastics. It grows on agricultural waste like corn husks or sawdust, forming dense networks that bind the material together. Once dried, the structure becomes rigid and durable. These mycelium composites are now being used for packaging, insulation, and even furniture. They can be composted after use, leaving no pollution behind. Some experimental projects have produced entire pavilions grown from living fungal structures that slowly change over time. This marriage of biology and architecture represents a shift in design thinking, where materials are not manufactured but cultivated. Each wall or panel begins as a living system, reminding us that sustainability might not mean freezing nature out, but inviting it in to help us build anew. Some fungi can neutralize toxic waste and heavy metals. In the aftermath of pollution, fungi often appear as quiet healers. Certain species can absorb or transform dangerous substances such as oil, pesticides, and heavy metals. Their mycelium acts like a filter, drawing toxins from soil and water while breaking them down through enzymatic reactions. This process, called mycomediation, has been tested in sites contaminated by industrial waste and oil spills. In some experiments, fungal mats have turned black sludge into fertile soil, supporting new plant growth within months. The secret lies in their ability to digest almost anything carbon-based, combined with their fine filament networks that capture and stabilize metals. The result is both cleanup and regeneration. These fungi show that life itself can act as medicine for the planet, turning decay into renewal. They teach us that restoration is not destruction reversed, but creation continued in new, resilient forms. Ancient fungal fossils record some of the first land organisms. In rocks more than 400 million years old, scientists have found delicate thread-like impressions that reveal fungi among the earliest pioneers of land. Before trees and grasses, these organisms spread across barren terrain, breaking down minerals and helping form soil. One fossil, discovered in Canada and known as Prototaxites, reached several meters tall, towering over a landscape still waiting for forests. For decades, its identity puzzled researchers until evidence confirmed it was fungal. These early species paved the way for plants by making nutrients available where none existed. Their presence marks a turning point in Earth's history, when land began to host the complex web of life we know today. Every handful of soil we touch carries the legacy of these ancient builders, whose quiet chemistry reshaped the world from stone to earth, setting the stage for everything that would grow above it. Certain fungi can breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide like animals. While plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, fungi do the opposite. Their metabolism mirrors that of animals, drawing in oxygen to break down sugars and expelling carbon dioxide as waste. This process, called aerobic respiration, is part of what connects fungi more closely to us than to plants. You can sometimes see the effect in compost heaps or dense clusters of mushrooms, where the heat of their metabolism raises the temperature of the air. In enclosed environments, fungi can even alter carbon dioxide levels noticeably. This shared method of breathing illustrates how deeply interwoven life's systems are. Fungi inhale what plants exhale, and plants inhale what fungi exhale, creating a balanced exchange that supports the entire biosphere. It is a conversation in breath, a rhythm of air that passes through forests, fields, and lungs, uniting all living things in invisible harmony. Fungal spores can remain dormant for decades before sprouting. When conditions are harsh, fungi do not perish. They wait. Encased in protective shells, spores can survive drought, freezing, and radiation. Some have been found viable after decades sealed in ice or amber. Once moisture and nutrients return, they awaken and begin to grow, their patience rewarded with life renewed. This ability allows fungi to persist through disasters, fires, or climate shifts that wipe out other organisms. It also explains how they colonize distant places long after traveling on the wind. Each spore is a message written for the future, carrying the blueprint of an entire network within a speck of dust. Even in deep dormancy, they hold the potential to rebuild, restore, and reclaim their role in the cycle. To study spores is to witness time folded into sleep, life waiting for its next breath of rain. Some mushrooms have evolved to resemble coral or sea creatures. In nature's imagination, form knows no limits. Certain fungi grow in intricate, branching shapes that look like underwater coral, sea fans, or anemones. Their delicate structures increase surface area for releasing spores, turning function into beauty. Found in humid forests and along mossy logs, these coral fungi display colors ranging from ivory to deep violet. Others take on sponge-like forms with labyrinths of pores through which spores drift. Though they live on land, their resemblance to marine life feels uncanny, a reflection of shared principles in growth and pattern. Each branch, curve, and fold arises from the same cellular rhythm that drives all living architecture. When morning dew settles on their tips, they seem to shimmer like coral reefs catching light beneath invisible waves, linking forest and ocean in a single language of form. A single gram of soil can contain thousands of fungal species. What looks like simple dirt is a universe of life. Under a microscope, 1 gram of forest soil reveals an astonishing variety of fungal threads, spores, and cells. Thousands of species intertwined in a living mosaic. Each one plays a role. Some recycle dead leaves, others nourish plant roots, and still others compete in quiet chemical battles. Many have never been identified or named. Modern genetic tools reveal even more hidden diversity, uncovering lineages that have existed unseen for millions of years. This invisible crowd forms the foundation of ecosystems, turning waste into fertility. The soil is not merely ground to stand on. It is a living fabric of ancient cooperation and ceaseless renewal. Every handful of earth carries more complexity than the stars visible in the night sky, a reminder that the deepest mysteries may lie just beneath our feet. Fungi can sense gravity and grow upward or downward accordingly. Even without eyes, fungi know which way is up. Inside their cells are microscopic structures that act like internal compasses, helping them orient growth. When a mushroom forms underground, these sensors guide the stem to push upward toward the air, while roots of mycelium spread horizontally or downward in search of nutrients. This sensitivity is part of a larger awareness of the environment, allowing fungi to navigate obstacles and balance themselves as they grow. In laboratory experiments, when mushrooms are tilted or rotated, they adjust within hours, correcting their direction as if guided by an invisible hand. This quiet intelligence of orientation ensures that spores are released into open space rather than buried soil. It demonstrates that even organisms without nerves or brains can perceive and respond to the pull of the earth itself. Some fungi release spores only during lightning storms. There are fungi so attuned to weather that they time their reproduction with the energy of the sky. Observations have shown certain species releasing clouds of spores during thunderstorms. Scientists think that the changes in air pressure and the surge of electrical charge stimulate the release mechanism. The lightning may also help spores travel farther, carried on the upward drafts of charged air. In ancient folklore, people noticed mushrooms appearing after storms and believed lightning created them. They were not entirely wrong. The storm's power awakens fungi waiting beneath the surface, prompting them to release their genetic dust into the turbulent air. Each flash of light, each rumble of thunder, becomes part of their life cycle. The sky and the soil work together, turning weather into a trigger for creation, and proving that even thunder has its role in the quiet persistence of life. The bright colors of mushrooms can signal chemical defense systems. Some mushrooms wear their warnings proudly. Their vivid reds, oranges, purples, and blues advertise powerful toxins inside. These colors serve the same purpose as a wasp's stripes or a poisoned frog's skin, teaching animals to stay away. Many contain alkaloids or other compounds that disrupt digestion or nerve function in would-be predators. A few, like the fly agaric, use hallucinogenic chemicals that confuse the senses rather than causing direct harm. Over generations, these defenses have shaped forest ecosystems, influencing which animals graze on fungi and which avoid them. Yet bright color does not always mean danger. Some harmless species copy the appearance of toxic ones, gaining protection through mimicry. This spectrum of warning and deception makes the forest floor a gallery of living chemistry, where beauty and caution coexist, glowing softly beneath leaves and shadow. Fungi can influence plant growth and seed germination. When a seed falls to the ground, its chance of survival often depends on invisible allies below. Certain fungi release chemicals that signal seeds to sprout, while others help seedlings establish roots by extending mycelial threads into the soil. These connections allow young plants to draw in water and minerals before their own systems are strong enough. Some fungi even protect roots from harmful microbes, acting as natural guardians. Experiments show that plants grown in sterilized soil without fungi are often stunted, while those with healthy fungal populations thrive. The relationship is subtle but profound, a shared metabolism between species that never meet above ground. From the first breath of germination to the deep roots of maturity, fungi guide and sustain growth. Every green sprout is part of a larger partnership written quietly beneath the soil. Some fungi live inside plant roots and help them absorb water. In dry or nutrient-poor environments, plants depend heavily on underground fungi called mycorrhizae. These symbiotic organisms weave through root cells, extending far into the soil to reach pockets of water and minerals that roots alone cannot access. The fungi deliver these resources to the plant, receiving sugars in return. This partnership increases a plant's resilience to drought, disease, and even pollutants. Mycorrhizae effectively expand the reach of a single plant, connecting it to a much wider support system. When forests suffer from changing climates, these fungi often determine which trees endure and which fade. Their delicate threads carry the lifeblood of entire ecosystems. Through them, moisture finds its way to roots and energy moves from tree to tree. They are the unseen architects of fertility, turning barren ground into living landscapes that breathe and grow together. The smell of rain is partly caused by fungal compounds in the soil. That earthy fragrance that rises after rainfall has a scientific name: petrichor. It comes from oils released by plants and from compounds produced by soil-dwelling bacteria and fungi. One of these is geosmin, a molecule created by actinobacteria and certain fungal species. When raindrops strike dry ground, they trap tiny air bubbles that burst upward, releasing these fragrant chemicals into the breeze. The scent triggers memory and calm in humans, perhaps because it signals the return of life-giving water. For fungi, the rain also awakens dormant spores, starting new cycles of growth. So the smell we love is part of their calling card, a byproduct of microbial renewal. When the first drops fall and that familiar aroma spreads through the air, it is the breath of the soil itself, carried upward by rain and released into the waiting world. Certain fungi can glow rhythmically, pulsing like living lanterns. Some species of bioluminescent fungi do not shine with steady light, but instead pulse gently, as if breathing. The glow may change in intensity through the night, following internal rhythms or responding to humidity and temperature. Researchers studying these patterns have found that the enzymes controlling bioluminescence can oscillate, producing waves of brightness that ripple through the mycelium. To nocturnal insects, these pulses may serve as signals, guiding them to spread spores. To humans walking in moonlit woods, they appear as soft, mysterious heartbeats of the earth. This living rhythm connects the fungus to the environment, adjusting to cycles of night and weather. Each flicker is both message and music, a luminous conversation between organism and world. These glowing bodies remind us that life not only endures in darkness, but can make the darkness sing with quiet light. Mycelium can heal itself when damaged. Unlike rigid materials that crack or shatter, mycelium behaves like living tissue. When torn or cut, the hyphae at the edge begin to grow again, bridging the gap and fusing together. Within days, the network restores its structure, maintaining the flow of water and nutrients. This regenerative ability allows fungi to survive disturbances such as trampling animals or shifting soil. It also makes mycelium a model for sustainable materials that could repair themselves after wear. In nature, this property helps fungal networks persist for decades or even centuries, adapting constantly to their surroundings. Where humans build with permanence, fungi build with resilience. Each thread is temporary yet eternal, always ready to reconnect and renew. In the silence of the forest floor, mycelium teaches that strength is not in resistance, but in the ability to heal and grow again. Fungal networks can transmit warning signals between plants. Beneath the forest floor, mycelium connects trees and plants into a shared web of communication. When one tree is attacked by insects or exposed to drought, it can send distress signals through these fungal threads. Neighboring plants receiving these signals often respond by boosting their chemical defenses or adjusting water use, even before the danger reaches them. Experiments with isotopes and electrical probes show that nutrients and information can move through this hidden system in complex patterns. Fungi act as both messenger and mediator, translating the needs of roots into a language the forest understands. Though slow and chemical, this signaling forms an underground nervous system of sorts, an ancient network that keeps ecosystems balanced. The whispering beneath our feet is not metaphorical but literal, a soft electrical pulse of warning, empathy, and exchange traveling through living threads in the darkness of the soil. Some fungi can consume radiation and use it as energy. In the aftermath of nuclear disasters such as Chernobyl, scientists discovered fungi growing directly on radioactive walls and rubble. Instead of being destroyed by the radiation, they seem to thrive. Their secret lies in melanin, the same pigment that darkens human skin. Within these fungi, melanin absorbs high-energy radiation and transforms it into a usable chemical form, much as chlorophyll turns sunlight into energy. In experiments aboard the International Space Station, radiation-loathing fungi continued to grow even under cosmic rays. This remarkable adaptation suggests that life can not only resist harsh conditions, but harness them. Some researchers imagine future space explorers using such fungi as living shields, cultivating them to protect habitats from radiation. These dark, humble organisms reveal that energy can come from many sources, and that life's resilience often hides in the places we least expect. There are fungi that live entirely inside the digestive tracts of animals. Within the stomachs of grazing animals like cows, deer, and camels live tiny fungi that help digest tough plant material. These anaerobic fungi thrive without oxygen, breaking down cellulose and lignin that even bacteria struggle to process. Their ferments burrow into bits of grass and leaves, releasing enzymes that soften the fibers and free nutrients. In doing so, they support the animal's entire digestive system. When the host excretes waste, spores of these fungi are released into the environment, ready to infect new grazers. The relationship is ancient, dating back tens of millions of years. Without these hidden helpers, herbivores could not gain enough energy from their plant diets, and grasslands themselves would look very different. It is a reminder that ecosystems depend not only on the visible animals roaming the surface, but also on the microscopic partners quietly working within them. Some mushrooms produce sounds too faint for humans to hear. Recent studies using highly sensitive microphones have revealed that growing mushrooms emit tiny bursts of sound, soft clicks and pops as their cells expand and move water through their tissues. The noises are far below the threshold of human hearing, but can be detected with special equipment. These microsounds may result from pressure changes as hyphae extend through soil, or from the release of gases during growth. Some scientists suspect they might even play a role in fungal communication, signaling nearby colonies to coordinate development. In time-lapse recordings sped up to audible frequencies, the sounds resemble rain falling on distant leaves. To think that mushrooms make music of their own, inaudible yet constant, is to realize how alive the quiet world truly is. Even in stillness, they pulse with rhythm, composing symphonies too delicate for human ears, but vital to the balance of the soil. Fungi can adapt rapidly to new environments. Unlike most complex organisms, fungi can evolve astonishingly fast. Their spores contain genetic variation that allows them to respond to new pressures within only a few generations. Some species develop resistance to toxins or antibiotics within months. Others shift their growth patterns when moved from forest to field, adjusting to temperature, pH, or humidity almost immediately. Mycelium networks can even merge with other fungi, exchanging genes and learning from their surroundings in real time. This flexibility makes them both powerful allies and formidable survivors. It also means fungi are among the first organisms to reclaim disturbed land after fires or floods. They test, adapt, and rebuild wherever life has been broken. Their evolution teaches that intelligence need not be conscious to be effective. The fungi's genius lies in their ability to listen to change and respond through growth, a silent resilience coded in their every thread. Certain fungi grow only in the footprints of large animals. In the dense soils of tropical forests, some rare species of fungi appear exclusively where elephants, tapirs, or deer have passed. Their spores lie dormant until the compacted soil, moisture, and nutrients from the footprint create perfect conditions for growth. These fungi depend on disturbance, thriving in the brief windows when sunlight and pressure mix in the right measure. The animals, unaware, act as gardeners, stamping seeds of new life into the ground as they move. This relationship connects movement, weight, and ecology in delicate balance. Scientists studying these species see them as reminders that even a single step can shape an ecosystem. The footprints of giants become cradles for microscopic worlds. In this quiet choreography, animal and fungus together write the story of renewal, one print at a time, pressed into the soft earth beneath the canopy. Mushrooms can appear at the same spot year after year. Some fungi are remarkably faithful to place. Their mycelium networks remain alive underground, often for decades, waiting for the right mix of rain, temperature, and decay. When conditions align, they send up fruiting bodies in precisely the same patch of ground, almost like a memory resurfacing. Observers have noted mushrooms sprouting under the same tree each autumn, generation after generation, as if drawn by ritual. The underground network expands only slightly each season, maintaining a steady territory where nutrients are balanced. This continuity links the present to the past in ways we rarely notice. The mushrooms we see are fleeting, but the being beneath them is long-lived, persistent, and aware of its surroundings. Each reappearance marks the rhythm of an organism that measures time not in days but in decades, emerging to remind us that patience itself is a form of life. Some fungi can hibernate through harsh seasons and awaken when conditions improve. When cold, drought, or scarcity strike, fungi withdraw into stillness. Mycelium reduces activity to a bare minimum, conserving energy while waiting for warmth and moisture to return. Some form resistant structures known as sclerotia, dense knots of cells that can lie dormant for years. When favorable conditions return, these structures burst back to life, sending out new threads as though no time has passed. This adaptation allows fungi to endure extremes that would kill most plants or animals. They do not fight the change of seasons, they flow with it, disappearing and reappearing as needed. In this way, they mirror the cycles of sleep and waking found in every living system. The forest may seem lifeless in winter, but beneath the frost, fungi are only resting, dreaming in silence until the rhythm of rain and thaw calls them to rise once more. Mycelium patterns resemble neural networks in the human brain. When viewed under magnification, the branching structure of mycelium bears a striking resemblance to the wiring of neurons. Both systems grow by exploring space, reinforcing successful connections and pruning unused pathways. In computer simulations, the behavior of fungal networks mirrors that of efficient communication systems, minimizing energy while maximizing reach. Some scientists use fungal growth models to study how intelligence might arise from simple rules repeated across vast scales. The similarity is more than visual. Electrical signals move through mycelial threads in pulses that echo brainwaves. While fungi do not think, their networks show how complexity and coordination can emerge without a central command. They are living proof that intelligence may take many forms, from the quick sparks inside our skulls to the slow, glowing web beneath the forest floor. The mind of the earth, it seems, may be threaded in white filaments underground. Fungi inspired new biodegradable materials for packaging. As the world seeks alternatives to plastic, scientists and designers have turned to mycelium for solutions. By growing it around agricultural waste, they can create strong, lightweight packaging that replaces polystyrene and other polluting materials. When discarded, the packaging decomposes naturally, feeding soil rather than harming it. This technology, sometimes called mushroom packaging, has already been adopted by companies seeking sustainable shipping materials. It requires little energy, produces no toxins, and can be shaped into almost any form. Beyond packaging, researchers are developing mycelium leather for clothing and car interiors, and even sound-absorbing panels for architecture. The idea that the same organism breaking down forest debris could also protect fragile goods or replace animal hides captures the spirit of modern innovation through nature. Fungi offer us a circular path where waste becomes growth and design learns again from the quiet logic of decay. Certain fungi create intricate spore-launching mechanisms like microscopic catapults. Under the microscope, the release of fungal spores is a marvel of engineering. Some species form pressure chambers inside tiny sacs called aci. When the pressure reaches a critical point, the sac bursts, shooting spores into the air at extraordinary speeds. Others use surface tension, where a single droplet propels a spore away when it merges with another. These actions happen on scales invisible to the naked eye, but involve immense relative forces. The precision ensures that spores clear the boundary layer of still air near the surface and reach moving currents that carry them far away. Nature's smallest catapults repeat their work trillions of times each day across the planet. Though each launch is silent and unseen, together they create the endless snowfall of spores that fills the atmosphere, ensuring the continuity of life that thrives on patience, precision, and invisible motion. Some fungi have evolved to parasitize other fungi. In the complex hierarchy of the fungal world, some species make their living by feeding on others of their kind. These mycoparasitic fungi invade the mycelium of host species, drawing nutrients from their cells or consuming them entirely. They use specialized enzymes to break down the host's protective walls, then spread through the weakened network. This interaction keeps fungal populations in balance, preventing any single species from dominating. In soil ecosystems, it functions much like predator and prey dynamics among animals. Some of these parasitic fungi even help protect crops by attacking harmful molds and pathogens, making them useful allies in agriculture. What may appear as conflict is in fact another form of regulation in nature's endless equilibrium. Life feeds on life. And even fungi, the great decomposers, are not exempt from the rule of being both hunter and hunted in the web of existence. Biologists call these parasitic fungi, fung-eating fungi. The phrase may sound whimsical, but it is accurate. Fungi that consume other fungi play an essential role in soil health. They keep harmful molds under control, recycle nutrients locked in dense fungal matter, and maintain biodiversity by preventing monocultures underground. Some grow as fine threads that wrap around the hyphae of their victims, while others form small fruiting bodies directly on the surface of another mushroom, feeding until nothing remains. Certain species, such as trichoderma, have become valuable in biotechnology and farming because they naturally suppress diseases that attack crops. By studying them, scientists learn how to design organic pest control methods that replace chemical fungicides. It is humbling to realize that even among decomposers, a hierarchy exists, each level feeding the next. The soil is a stage for countless dramas of survival, written in threads finer than hair and more ancient than roots. Fungi can grow in volcanic ash and thrive after eruptions. When volcanoes erupt, they leave behind barren landscapes coated in ash and rock. Within months, fungi arrive. Their spores, carried by wind or animals, settle into the still warm soil and begin to grow, feeding on trace minerals and dead organic matter left by the blast. These early colonizers break down the sterile surface, creating the first nutrients that allow mosses, lichens, and plants to follow. Some can even tolerate high levels of sulfur and metals in volcanic debris. Scientists studying eruption sites in Iceland and Japan found that fungi were among the very first living organisms to return, forming invisible webs beneath the ash, while the land above remained grey and silent. Their patience transforms destruction into possibility. They remind us that renewal often begins not with sunlight or rain, but with the quiet persistence of something small rebuilding the foundations of life. Some mushrooms contain pigments that protect them from sunlight. Though fungi usually grow in shaded environments, some species thrive in open meadows or exposed woodlands. To survive direct sunlight, they produce pigments that act like sunscreen, shielding their delicate tissues from ultraviolet radiation. These pigments can create stunning colors, from deep purples to rusty reds, and often serve multiple purposes, including deterrence of predators. Studies show that darker mushrooms tend to appear in sunny climates, while paler species dominate the shade. This adaptation demonstrates how fungi can occupy nearly every habitat on Earth. Their color is more than beauty. It is function expressed through art. When light filters through their translucent caps, it reveals chemistry sculpted by evolution, a record of countless generations learning to dance with the sun rather than hide from it. Even in brightness, fungi find balance, turning light itself into a collaborator rather than an enemy. Mycelium can detect and grow towards sources of nutrients. Fungal networks navigate their surroundings with purpose. When mycelium senses chemical traces of nutrients such as sugars or amino acids, it directs new growth in that direction. This process, called chemotropism, allows fungi to explore efficiently, avoiding poor soil and expanding into richer patches. The growing tips respond to the faintest molecular gradients, adjusting direction cell by cell. Over time, the network takes on shapes that reflect the landscape's invisible nutrient map, forming dense mats in fertile zones and sparse threads elsewhere. This ability makes mycelium an organic model for optimization, inspiring computer algorithms and urban planning designs. It behaves like a living search engine, seeking balance and resource flow without waste. In forests, this sensitivity ensures that no fallen leaf or fragment of wood goes unnoticed. Every molecule of potential life finds its way back into the cycle through the seeking fingers of the fungal web. Fungi contribute to the global carbon cycle as much as forests do. Though they do not photosynthesize, fungi play a central role in regulating carbon on Earth. As decomposers, they break down organic material, releasing carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere where plants can reuse it. Mycorrhizal fungi also store large amounts of carbon underground by forming stable compounds within the soil. Some scientists estimate that the world's fungi collectively sequester billions of tons of carbon every year, rivaling the capacity of entire forest systems. When their networks die and compress, they can even contribute to the formation of coal and other fossil materials over geological timescales. In this way, fungi are both the recyclers and the archivists of the carbon cycle. They embody the balance between release and retention, ensuring that energy continues to flow through every ecosystem. Beneath every tree and field, they manage the breath of the planet itself. The same fungus can take many different forms throughout its life. Unlike animals or plants with fixed body plans, fungi can transform dramatically depending on their environment. Some begin as single cells, merge into filament networks, and later produce elaborate fruiting bodies. Others switch between yeast-like and mold-like stages as conditions change. Temperature, humidity, and available nutrients can all alter their form and behavior. This shape-shifting nature allows fungi to survive in unpredictable habitats, adapting structure to opportunity. In laboratories, scientists studying these transitions have discovered genetic mechanisms that respond to environmental cues almost instantly. The versatility of fungi challenges our definition of what an individual even is. They are processes as much as creatures, able to dissolve, combine, or reinvent themselves when needed. Their existence feels more fluid than fixed, a living metaphor for transformation itself, showing that life's strength lies not in rigidity, but in its capacity to change form and continue. Some fungi reproduce using spores that swim through water. Among the earliest lineages of fungi are those that release motile spores, each equipped with a single tail-like flagellum that allows it to swim. These aquatic spores, known as zoospores, move through water to find new surfaces where they can grow. They often belong to chytrid fungi, which inhabit ponds, streams, and moist soil. This ancient reproductive method reflects fungi's origins in water before they conquered land. The swimming spores act like microscopic explorers, guided by chemical cues toward decaying organic matter or plant roots. In the still waters of ponds, billions of these silent swimmers drift unseen, continuing a process that has endured for hundreds of millions of years. Though most modern fungi have lost this ability, their ancestors' aquatic passed lives on in these graceful one-celled travelers that remind us how life's great story began in movement through water. Fungal fruiting bodies can weigh hundreds of kilograms. While most mushrooms are small and fragile, some fungi produce monumental fruiting bodies. In tropical forests and temperate woodlands alike, species of bracket fungi can grow as large as shells on tree trunks, each layer accumulating year after year until it weighs more than a person. In underground ecosystems, massive puffballs can reach the size of beach balls, releasing billions of spores when disturbed. The combined weight of these structures represents only a fraction of the organism's total mass, since the true body lies beneath the surface as sprawling mycelium. These giants demonstrate how scale in nature is deceptive. The forest's most powerful growths are often invisible until they choose to reveal themselves. When they do, they stand as living monuments to persistence, feeding from decay yet creating forms that endure, beautiful and strange, in the deep rhythm of life and death intertwined. Certain mushrooms can emit heat as they grow. Even though fungi are often associated with cool, damp places, some generate warmth from within. As their cells metabolize nutrients, they release small amounts of energy as heat. In dense costas, this warmth can accumulate enough to raise the temperature of the air around them. Compost piles rich with fungal activities sometimes steam on cold mornings because the growing mycelium inside is alive with metabolism. Certain mushrooms even regulate their internal temperature slightly, ensuring optimal conditions for spore formation. This gentle heat supports insect partners and accelerates decomposition, making fungi active participants in shaping their microclimates. It is one of the rare times life without a heartbeat feels almost warm to the touch. Even as they break down the remains of the world, fungi generate the quiet fire of renewal, proving that decay and creation are never truly separate, but exist as two sides of the same slow flame. Fungi played a key role in the evolution of complex ecosystems. Long before the rise of forests, fungi were preparing the planet for complexity. As some of the first organisms to colonize land, they broke down rock into soil, releasing minerals plants would later need. Once plants emerged, fungi partnered with them, providing nutrients in exchange for sugars. This relationship transformed barren landscapes into living ecosystems where energy could circulate and life could diversify. Fossil evidence shows that ancient fungi extended vast networks through primitive roots, linking early plants into communities. They acted as the planet's first communicators and recyclers, setting the stage for animals, forests, and entire biomes to emerge. Even now, the same processes continue unseen beneath our feet. The world we know was not built by sunlight alone, but by the patient chemistry of fungi working in darkness, shaping the structure of life itself before any eye had evolved to see it. Some fungi glow brighter when touched or disturbed. In certain glowing species, light intensity increases when movement or vibration occurs nearby. Scientists believe this may be an evolutionary response to attract nocturnal insects or animals that help spread spores. The glow intensifies momentarily, as if the fungus is aware of the surrounding motion. Biochemical reactions within the fungal cells, particularly involving enzymes like luciferase, can accelerate when pressure changes in their tissues, causing the glow to flare softly in the dark. To a wandering beetle, this flicker might resemble the signal of food or shelter, drawing it closer. To a human, it appears almost magical, as though the forest floor breathes with awareness. These luminous reactions are both art and function, guiding interactions that ensure reproduction and dispersal. In the stillness of night, a glowing mushroom's quiet shimmer tells a story written in light, a conversation between the living and the curious. Fungi are essential partners for most plants on Earth. Nearly all land plants rely on symbiotic fungi woven through their roots. These fungal allies deliver water and minerals in exchange for sugars produced by photosynthesis. The partnership, called mycorrhiza, exists in over 90% of plant species and has persisted for hundreds of millions of years. Without it, most vegetation would wither, especially in nutrient-poor soil. The threads of mycelium vastly increase the surface area available for absorption, reaching spaces roots cannot. They even connect different plants, allowing the flow of carbon and chemical signals between them. Through this partnership, fungi have shaped the evolution of every ecosystem on land. Grasslands, rainforests, and even deserts depend on their cooperation. Every tree owes part of its height to the invisible filaments below. Fungi, though rarely seen, are the architects of fertility, ensuring that Earth remains green and alive from root to leaf. Without fungi, most plants could not survive in poor soil. In landscapes where nutrients are scarce, fungi act as lifelines. They extend microscopic threads far beyond the reach of roots, mining minerals from rock and organic debris. Through these connections, plants gain phosphorus, nitrogen, and trace elements essential for growth. In turn, they share sugars that fuel the fungal metabolism. This exchange keeps deserts blooming after rainfall and allows trees to thrive even on rocky mountainsides. Experiments have shown that seedlings grown without their fungal partners remain stunted and pale, while those with them flourish. The relationship transforms barren ground into living earth, slowly accumulating fertility year after year. What appears to be a plant's resilience is often the quiet work of fungi below, feeding unseen and ensuring the forest's endurance. In every poor soil that manages to bloom, there is a hidden gardener turning scarcity into abundance. Some fungi evolve to mimic rotting fruit to attract insects. Nature's genius often lies in deception. Certain fungi emit smells nearly identical to decaying fruit, drawing fruit flies and beetles searching for food. The insects crawl over the fungal surface, picking up spores that cling to their legs. When they move on to actual fruit or other decaying material, they spread the spores to new locations. The disguise is not accidental. These fungi have evolved chemicals that perfectly mimic the volatile compounds released during fruit fermentation. Some even produce faint colorations that resemble bruised or ripened skin. By copying the scent of decay, they ensure their own renewal through trickery. What seems like rot to us is strategy to them. Each imitation reveals a deep understanding of the senses of other creatures, proof that evolution can teach even fungi to lie convincingly in the language of smell and survival. Certain fungi can infect and control the minds of ants. In tropical forests, a fungus known as cordyceps invades the body of an ant, growing silently inside its tissues. As it spreads, it releases chemicals that alter the insect's behavior, forcing it to climb a plant stem and lock its jaws onto a leaf vein. The ant dies in this fixed position, and from its body sprouts a slender stalk that releases new spores into the air. This haunting process ensures the fungus's spores fall where new ants will pass below, ready to continue the cycle. The fungus is highly specific, targeting only certain species of ants and manipulating them with eerie precision. It represents one of nature's most astonishing examples of parasitic control, turning individual organisms into vehicles for reproduction. What begins as infection ends as choreography, a dance between parasite and host played out in the dappled shadows of the forest floor. Cordyceps fungi turn their hosts into zombie insects. Cordyceps is not a single species, but a vast genus of parasitic fungi that infect various insects and arthropods. Each type has evolved to target a particular host, whether ant, caterpillar, or spider. After entering through a small wound or inhaled spore, the fungus slowly replaces the host's internal tissue, keeping it alive just long enough to position itself for the perfect release of spores. Some cordyceps emerge as elegant stalks from their hosts' bodies. Others bloom in intricate shapes that resemble coral. In high mountain regions, people collect certain cordyceps species for traditional medicine, believing they hold vitality and longevity. While their effects in humans remain debated, their role in nature is unquestioned. They control populations, recycle nutrients, and maintain balance. In the quiet corners of the world, cordyceps turn death into strategy, merging beauty and horror in a single act of survival. Fungi can form hidden spore banks in soil, waiting for decades. Beneath the ground, spores can accumulate like seeds, remaining dormant until the right conditions awaken them. These invisible reserves act as a time capsule for entire ecosystems. Even if fire, drought, or human activity destroys the living mycelium above, the buried spores ensure rebirth when the soil heals. Scientists studying ancient layers of earth have found spores still viable after tens of years of dormancy. Their ability to endure drought, cold, and radiation makes them nature's memory keepers. They preserve genetic diversity, allowing ecosystems to recover after catastrophe. When rain returns and temperature shifts, they awaken in waves, rebuilding what was lost. Each spore bank is a hidden library of resilience, a collection of potential futures stored within the soil, waiting patiently for the signal to rise again. Some fungi produce musical notes when their growth is converted into sound. researchers have connected electrodes to growing mycelium and converted its electrical activity into audible tones. The resulting patterns form music-like rhythms, varying in pitch and tempo as the fungus responds to moisture, temperature, and light. Each species creates its own signature pattern, a kind of organic composition shaped by environment and physiology. Artists and scientists alike have begun to explore these sounds as a form of living music, translating biology into melody. The idea is not that fungi consciously create song, but that their electrical communication carries rhythm and order akin to it. Listening to these sounds, one can hear the pulse of the forest floor transformed into art. A reminder that life's inner workings are filled with harmony, even when we cannot perceive it directly. The world hums quietly beneath our feet, and fungi provide its softest notes. Mycelium can form patterns resembling galaxy-like spirals. When grown in laboratory dishes or observed across large landscapes, fungal networks sometimes organize themselves into spiraling, fractal-like shapes. The distribution of growth mirrors the structure of galaxies or storm systems, following mathematical patterns known as fractals. Each branching point balances exploration with efficiency, allowing maximum reach with minimal energy. These cosmic-looking forms arise naturally from simple rules repeated over and over at small scales. In the forest, this same geometry allows mycelium to map the terrain with uncanny precision, expanding in curves that echo celestial order. To look at a petri dish of fungal growth under time-lapse is to watch the logic of the universe expressed in miniature. The same geometry that guides galaxies also guides fungi, proof that the laws of growth and flow unite the vast and the microscopic in one continuous rhythm of creation. Certain fungi thrive inside glaciers and frozen tundra. Even in the coldest regions of the world, fungi persist. Inside glacial ice and beneath permafrost layers, scientists have discovered spores and living cells capable of metabolizing at sub-zero temperatures. These cold-adapted fungi feed on trapped organic matter and remain active for centuries, moving slowly but steadily. When glaciers retreat, they awaken fully, colonizing the newly exposed rock. Their enzymes function where water is scarce and frozen, allowing them to recycle material even in near-permanent ice. Such resilience helps explain how life might survive on frozen planets and moons beyond Earth. Each icy microhabitat holds a record of endurance, proving that the boundary between life and lifelessness is more flexible than it seems. The frozen Earth is not silent, but softly breathing through fungal chemistry that endures in the stillness of cold light. Fungi can colonize radioactively contaminated zones. After nuclear accidents, when radiation levels make most life impossible, fungi often return first. Their ability to tolerate high radiation comes from pigments and enzymes that repair DNA faster than damage occurs. In some cases, fungi even appear to use radiation as an energy source, converting harmful rays into usable chemistry through melanin. Studies in Chernobyl and Fukushima show them thriving on reactor walls and within contaminated soil. These organisms do not merely survive, but stabilize their environments, absorbing radionuclides and reducing their spread. Mycologists imagine using them to clean nuclear waste sites, growing living barriers that trap and neutralize toxins. In their dark resilience, these fungi remind us that life does not retreat easily. Even in the wake of human catastrophe, the world rebuilds itself, one spore at a time, reclaiming danger as nourishment and ruin as opportunity. Some mushrooms can resist being frozen solid. High in alpine regions and Arctic tundra, certain mushrooms continue to grow at temperatures that would freeze most living tissue. They produce antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming inside their cells. These compounds maintain the flexibility of membranes, and keep metabolism functioning even in permafrost. When thaw arrives, the fungi awaken instantly, continuing growth as if no time had passed. The discovery of these antifreeze proteins has inspired researchers to study their potential in preserving food, medicine, and even human organs. Nature's cold weather fungi demonstrate that adaptation is not about strength alone, but about timing, chemistry, and patience. They survive by mastering the art of pause, resting in stillness until the world softens enough for life to flow again. Fungal structures can remain intact even after forest fires. When flames sweep through forests, much of the visible life burns away, but fungal networks below the ground often endure. The heat rarely penetrates deep enough to destroy the buried mycelium. In fact, the ash left behind provides minerals that stimulate new growth. Within weeks, fungi begin to recolonize, sending up fruiting bodies from the still warm soil. Some species even require fire to reproduce, their spores triggered to germinate by the sudden change in chemistry and temperature. This resilience makes fungi the first responders of recovery, rebuilding the soil's foundation so that seeds can sprout and roots can anchor once again. Their survival after fire is both symbol and strategy, a cycle of destruction followed by renewal. Where the forest burns, fungi wait quietly, ready to write the next chapter of life in threads of white beneath the blackened earth. Some fungi form fairy rings that expand outward each year. In meadows and forest clearings, perfect circles of mushrooms often appear. These fairy rings form as the underground mycelium grows outward from a central point in all directions. The middle eventually becomes exhausted of nutrients, while the outer edge remains rich and active. As a result, mushrooms fruit only along the expanding perimeter, creating a visible ring. Each year, the circle widens by a few centimeters, marking the slow passage of time. Some rings have been measured at over 50 meters across, representing centuries of steady growth. Folklore once imagined them as dancing grounds for elves or portals to other worlds. In truth, they are monuments to patience, geometry, and persistence. Each ring is a living clock, expanding quietly underfoot, tracing the breath of the earth through the symmetry of growth. Mycorrhizal fungi form underground markets where trees trade nutrients. In forests connected by fungal networks, not all exchange is equal. Trees linked through mycorrhizae trade nutrients based on need, abundance, and even species preference. Young saplings may receive carbon from older trees, while others share phosphorus or nitrogen in return. Some studies suggest that these exchanges function like a marketplace, with trees allocating resources to partners that provide the best balance. The fungus benefits by maintaining connections to multiple hosts, ensuring its own stability. This economic metaphor may not capture the full mystery, but it illustrates how cooperation and competition blend in nature's underground web. Beneath every grove lies an invisible economy of life, a trading floor without currency or speech, guided by chemistry, balance, and trust written in root and filament. Fungi have existed for more than 1 billion years. Genetic evidence and fossil traces reveal that fungi are among the oldest multicellular organisms on Earth. They likely diverged from animals over 1 billion years ago, thriving in ancient oceans before colonizing land. Through every extinction and upheaval, fungi adapted, surviving when others vanished. They helped shape soil, guided plant evolution, and participated in the recycling of organic matter since the dawn of terrestrial life. Their endurance surpasses nearly every lineage. The very processes that sustain modern ecosystems were first tested in their primitive ancestors. When we look at a mushroom, we are seeing the latest chapter of a story that began before trees, before insects, before flowers. Fungi are living fossils, proof that patience and adaptability can outlast even the harshest epochs of change. certain fungi may have shaped the early atmosphere of Earth. Before plants could photosynthesize efficiently on land, fungi worked with microbial partners to transform the planet's surface. As they broke down rock and organic matter, they released carbon dioxide and other gases that helped warm the young Earth. Their gradual creation of soil also supported the first terrestrial vegetation, which in turn began producing oxygen. This sequence of interactions slowly stabilized the atmosphere, making it suitable for complex life. In this way, fungi acted as unseen engineers of habitability. Their early chemistry laid the groundwork for the breathable air we depend on today. It is extraordinary to think that the quiet, decomposing organisms beneath our feet once influenced the entire sky above us, turning stone and sunlight into the conditions for life itself. Fungi are helping scientists explore the potential of life on Mars. Because fungi can survive radiation, cold, and limited nutrients, astrobiologists study them as models for extraterrestrial life. Experiments have shown that certain species can endure conditions similar to those on Mars, including high radiation and low pressure. Some even grow inside simulated Martian soil, drawing energy from minerals and light. Researchers envision future missions carrying fungi to help build habitats or recycle waste for astronauts. Mycelium structures could provide lightweight, self-repairing shelters grown directly on the Martian surface. Studying their resilience also helps scientists understand how life might exist elsewhere in the cosmos. In fungi, we find both inspiration and instruction for exploring beyond Earth. A reminder that the forms of survival perfected here may one day guide humanity's reach toward other worlds. Some fungi emit fragrances that attract specific animal species. Beneath the quiet of the forest floor, certain fungi breathe out invisible scents designed for the senses of animals. Truffles fill the air with rich, earthy perfume that lures pigs and boars from miles away. Other mushrooms release aromas like fruit or soil after rain, drawing insects, rodents, and even deer. Each fragrance is not an accident, but an evolutionary signal, shaped by time to call specific messengers. When the animals dig, nibble, or brush past, they scatter spores across the landscape. What we smell as the warm, comforting scent of Earth is part of this ancient conversation between species. Every breeze carries thousands of such messages, invisible chemical invitations drifting through roots and leaves. These fragrances shape the rhythm of forest life, linking underground life to the creatures that move through it, reminding us that smell itself is a kind of dialogue between breath and soil. Mycelium can act as a natural water filter in ecosystems. Threaded through the earth like veins, mycelium filters the world's water as it travels through soil and rock. Its fine threads trap particles of clay, bacteria, and organic debris, cleansing the flow that nourishes roots and rivers. The structure acts as both sieve and sponge, catching impurities while holding moisture for later release. In forests, this slow filtering protects streams from erosion and sediment. In wetlands, mycelium captures pollutants, breaking them into harmless forms through enzymes and slow chemical work. Researchers studying these living filters have found that they can purify contaminated water far more efficiently than many industrial systems. When rain passes through fungal soil, it leaves clearer, cleaner, and richer in life. Every drop that falls into the earth is changed by these silent networks, which transform the chaos of runoff into the order of renewal. Fungi do not simply grow in water. They help the planet remember how to keep it pure. Fungi can stabilize soil and prevent erosion. Soil looks still, but it moves. Wind, water, and gravity pull at every grain, breaking apart the thin skin of the earth. Fungi hold it together. Their mycelium stretches between particles of sand and stone, wrapping them in living threads. Each filament secretes glues and proteins that bind the ground, creating invisible webs of strength. In forests, these networks prevent the collapse of hillsides and riverbanks. In deserts, they capture moisture and hold dunes in place after the wind's long march. After wildfires or floods, fungi are among the first organisms to return, stitching torn earth back together. Scientists now use fungal spores to restore damaged landscapes, seeding slopes and river edges with life that knits the soil into a living fabric. Beneath every meadow and mountain lies this unseen structure, patient and strong, keeping the land from falling apart through the quiet discipline of connection. Some fungi help coral reefs grow by recycling nutrients underwater. Far beneath the waves, where sunlight fades and coral structures glow like ghosts, fungi live and work unseen. They feed on organic debris drifting between coral branches, breaking it into nutrients that algae and coral polyps can use. By recycling waste into nourishment, they keep the reef alive. Some marine fungi live inside the coral skeletons themselves, helping strengthen them against disease and stress. Others form partnerships with algae that fuel the coral's energy cycle. In a sense, fungi act as the reef's lungs and stomach at once, processing the matter that flows through its living stone. When corals bleach and die, fungi are among the first to reclaim the remains, turning loss into soil for new life. These underwater decomposers mirror their terrestrial cousins, proving that the logic of renewal is universal, connecting forest and ocean in a single rhythm of decay and rebirth. Fungi can act as natural pest control in agriculture. Hidden in the soil, fungi have long served as guardians of crops. Certain species attack harmful insects, invading their bodies with fine filaments that consume them from within. Others produce natural chemicals that repel pests or disrupt their breeding cycles. Farmers have begun to cultivate these fungi as biological allies, replacing toxic pesticides with living systems of defense. Once applied to fields, the spores spread through the soil, protecting plants for months without harming bees or earthworms. The same processes that evolved in ancient ecosystems now serve modern cultivation. What once seemed warfare in miniature is in truth balance restored. The insects return in smaller numbers, the crops thrive, and the land remains clean. Nature's own strategy against imbalance has always been partnership, and fungi, silent and tireless, continue to patrol the boundaries between harmony and hunger across the green world. Mycelium has been used to grow furniture and fashion materials. In workshops that smell faintly of straw and earth, designers have learned to grow furniture. They begin with plant waste, pack it into molds, and introduce mycelium, which binds the fragments together as it grows. Within days, a solid, light structure takes form. Once dried, it becomes a chair, a lamp, or a sculpture. The surface holds a soft texture, both organic and modern. In the same way, sheets of fungal material can be grown into leather-like fabrics, replacing animal hides. These materials are renewable, biodegradable, and produced with almost no waste. They carry the warmth of life, even after growth ends. Mycelium art and design remind us that creation need not mean extraction. The future may be built not by carving and cutting, but by growing, guided by the quiet geometry of fungal thought shaping beauty from the patient logic of connection. Some fungi form delicate lace-like structures under decaying wood. Beneath the bark of fallen logs, filaments weave into patterns so fine that they resemble lace spun from frost. Each thread expands toward nutrients, adjusting to light, moisture, and the resistance of the wood. The result is a living tapestry, constantly reweaving itself as it consumes the log. When moisture is right, the network gleams faintly with translucence, like woven silk hidden beneath bark. These structures are not just beautiful, but functional. They channel nutrients, share enzymes, and direct the slow transformation of wood into soil. Biologists who study them describe shapes that echo rivers, veins, and lightning, patterns repeated everywhere life flows. What appears as decay is artistry on a cellular scale, where every curve has purpose. The lace beneath the forest floor teaches that elegance and efficiency can be the same thing, and that beauty sometimes hides in the work of dissolution. Fungi can create microhabitats for countless tiny organisms. A single mushroom is a world. Within its folds live insects, mites, springtails, and bacteria, each finding shelter and sustenance in the moist shelter of its tissues. Some creatures feed on spores, others on decomposing flesh, and many use fungal fruiting bodies as breeding grounds. Inside the soil, fungal tunnels become highways for microbes and airways for roots. Every decaying log or clump of mycelium is a miniature ecosystem, teeming with activity invisible to the human eye. When the fungus dies, its residents scatter, carrying nutrients and microbial communities with them, seeding new habitats elsewhere. Through this process, fungi knit together the hidden life of the planet, sustaining layers of existence from the microscopic upward. The next time you see a mushroom pushing through soil, imagine not an isolated organism, but a living city rising from the forest floor, inhabited by countless invisible citizens. Certain fungi can store carbon underground for centuries. When plants feed sugars to their fungal partners, the carbon from sunlight enters the soil. There, fungi weave it into stable molecules that resist decay. Some of this carbon remains locked away for hundreds or even thousands of years, forming a hidden reservoir beneath forests and grasslands. In this way, fungi help regulate the atmosphere, balancing the exchange of gases that shape climate. Scientists have measured these carbon stores and found that they can equal or exceed those held in the trees above. Yet when soil is disturbed by deforestation or ploughing, much of this stored carbon escapes. Protecting fungal networks has become part of protecting the planet itself. The quiet work of mycelium beneath our feet is as vital as any tree canopy, an unseen forest that breathes in reverse, holding sunlight in the dark so life can continue to thrive above. Mushrooms can change color depending on the air's humidity. Some mushrooms act as living barometers. When the air is dry, their caps appear pale and matte. When humidity rises, they darken and glisten, absorbing moisture into their tissues. This shift helps regulate spore release, ensuring that dispersal happens when the air is damp enough to carry them gently. The process is purely physical, yet strikingly elegant. The same pigment molecules that color the cap respond to water content, producing deep blues, golds, or browns in rhythm with the weather. In certain species, these changes occur within minutes after rainfall. Observing them is like watching the forest breathe. The mushrooms mirror the mood of the air itself, turning atmospheric change into visible art. Their shifting hues remind us that life does not resist the environment, but listens to it, responding to even the faintest whispers of temperature and moisture with graceful precision. Fungi may help us design future medicines. The world's forests and soils are libraries of chemical wisdom. Within fungi lie compounds capable of healing, protecting, and transforming the human body. Penicillin opened the door, but countless discoveries remain. Some fungi produce molecules that calm inflammation or fight infection. Others yield substances that interact with the brain's own chemistry in ways that may one day treat depression or anxiety. Researchers explore these compounds with growing curiosity, recognizing that fungi evolved them not for us, but for survival against microbes and predators. Yet their defenses can become our cures. Each new species examined reveals a fresh possibility for medicine. The language of biochemistry they speak is one of adaptation, resilience, and balance. In their cells are stories written in molecular code about how to endure and how to heal. We have only begun to translate them. Some fungi can transform harmful chemicals into harmless compounds. In the dark corners of polluted soil and industrial waste, fungi perform acts of quiet alchemy. They release enzymes that break apart molecules of oil, dye, and pesticide, digesting poison into water and carbon. This process, called mycomediation, turns contamination into opportunity. Experiments have shown fungi thriving on plastic, cleaning water tainted by heavy metals, and reclaiming land long thought ruined. The same metabolism that allows them to eat through wood or stone adapts effortlessly to human waste. They work slowly, silently, and completely, asking for nothing in return. As they grow, the land itself begins to breathe again. Mycomediation is more than a technique. It is an invitation to partnership, a reminder that the solutions to our most complex problems may already be waiting in the patient logic of the natural world beneath our feet. Mycelium insulation is being tested as an eco-friendly alternative to foam. Inside laboratories and workshops, engineers are cultivating mycelium to grow within molds, forming lightweight panels that trap air and resist heat. Once dried, these panels can line walls, ceilings, and floors. They insulate as effectively as synthetic foams, yet return safely to the earth when discarded. The material is flame-resistant, breathable, and surprisingly strong. Its creation uses agricultural waste rather than petroleum, reducing carbon emissions while building something beautiful and practical. Each panel carries faint traces of its organic origin, a reminder that comfort and sustainability need not conflict. As cities look for ways to reduce waste, mycelium insulation stands as proof that modern innovation can align with natural wisdom. Within every wall built from living material lies the quiet intelligence of fungi, holding warmth not only for houses, but for the idea of a gentler future. Fungi have inspired artists, architects, and designers for centuries. Long before science understood their biology, artists were captivated by fungi's shapes, colors, and mysteries. Renaissance painters hid them in still lifes as symbols of transience and renewal. Architects have studied their branching growth to design efficient spaces that mimic natural flow. Modern designers grow lamps, sculptures, and fabrics directly from fungal cultures, allowing art to form as a living process. Their pigments, extracted from spores and fruiting bodies, produce colors found nowhere else in nature. Deep blues, rust reds, and luminous whites. Beyond their appearance, fungi symbolize transformation. They turn death into life and decay into creation, embodying the same cycle that art seeks to express. To look at a mushroom is to see structure and softness joined. To work with fungi is to collaborate with life itself, creating beauty that changes, breathes, and eventually returns to the soil from which it rose. Some fungi evolved to survive inside deserts with almost no moisture. In the silence of the desert, where heat splits stone and water seems a memory, fungi endure. Some live deep within rocks, where traces of dew condense each dawn. Others weave filaments between grains of sand, capturing moisture from the air molecule by molecule. Their spores can sleep for decades, awakening only when a rare storm crosses the sky. These species feed on minerals and microscopic organic matter, recycling what little life the desert offers. Without them, dry ecosystems would lose their fragile balance. Scientists studying these resilient fungi have found adaptations that defy known limits of biology, suggesting that life's reach is broader than once imagined. They remind us that existence requires not comfort but possibility, and that even in the most silent landscapes, the story of survival continues beneath our feet in threads of invisible persistence. The scent of mushrooms helps animals locate them beneath the soil. Many animals depend on their noses to find fungi buried deep in the earth. Pigs, boars, and certain rodents can detect the smell of truffles through layers of dirt. The scent is composed of compounds that mimic those produced by ripe fruit or animal pheromones, perfectly tuned to the olfactory systems of these foragers. When the animals dig and eat, they spread the spores across wide distances through their droppings, ensuring the fungus's continued life. Some forests depend on this relationship for regeneration, as spore-laden soil enriches new growth. The very fragrance humans associate with the comfort of rain and soil evolved as a message for animals. Each whiff carries the memory of cooperation, a chemical invitation between species that has shaped the rhythm of forests for thousands of years. What we breathe as nostalgia, they follow as instinct. Certain fungi have been sent to space to study life's limits. Fungal spores are tiny, hardy, and astonishingly resilient, making them ideal travelers beyond Earth. Scientists have sent samples to orbit aboard satellites and space stations to test their endurance against cosmic radiation, vacuum, and temperature extremes. Many returned alive and even grew when rehydrated. Some, dark with melanin, absorbed radiation and transformed it into usable energy, hinting at biological strategies for surviving beyond our planet. Future missions imagine fungi as partners in space exploration, providing self-repairing materials, radiation shielding, and food recycling for astronauts. The same adaptability that allows them to live in volcanoes or ice might sustain human habitats on other worlds. Within these spores lies proof that life's persistence reaches beyond the limits of air and gravity, carrying the essence of Earth's endurance quietly among the stars. Fungi can teach us how networks self-organize without central control. Each thread of mycelium grows independently, sensing the world through chemical gradients and physical contact. Yet together, these countless filaments create vast, efficient systems that transport nutrients, respond to damage, and share information. There is no leader or brain, only cooperation emerging from connection. Scientists studying these networks have found principles that mirror those in human cities, computer systems, and neural pathways. The secret lies in distributed intelligence, where small decisions combine to create complex behavior. Mycelium teaches that order need not be imposed from above. It can arise from below, from relationships and responsiveness. The forest's calm intelligence operates through such networks, adjusting in real time to drought, decay, and change. Fungal systems remind us that harmony comes not from command, but from listening, each part responding to the needs of the whole. Some fungi are invisible to the naked eye yet shape entire ecosystems. The smallest fungi, existing as microscopic filaments or single cells, regulate processes that sustain the planet. They decompose fallen leaves, recycle nutrients, and control populations of bacteria and algae. Though unseen, their impact is immense. A handful of soil contains millions of fungal cells, each contributing to the global balance of carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Without them, forests would drown in debris, and the air would lose its equilibrium. Scientists studying these invisible species use genetic sequencing to uncover their diversity, revealing communities as complex as coral reefs. Their invisibility hides grandeur. Every ecosystem owes its resilience to their ceaseless work. They are the quiet custodians of life's continuity, invisible architects that shape the living earth through patience and precision. Studying fungi might help us understand consciousness and connection itself. The web of mycelium stretching beneath forests behaves in ways that echo thought. It senses, remembers, and adapts. Electrical impulses travel through its threads, and responses to stimuli can persist long after an event has passed. Some scientists use fungi as models to study how networks process information without brains. The patterns of coordination they display resemble the earliest foundations of awareness. Each part acts locally, yet the whole behaves intelligently. Philosophers see in fungi a reflection of interdependence, suggesting that consciousness itself might arise from relationships rather than isolation. When we look at a forest connected by fungi, we glimpse a vast organism thinking in slow time, its awareness diffused through roots and soil. To understand fungi is to question where mind begins, and whether the universe itself might think in filaments rather than sparks. Beneath every forest and meadow, under fields and gardens, a quiet presence continues its patient work. Fungi do not shout or bloom in haste. They listen. They breathe with the rhythm of the rain and the slow exhale of the soil. Their world is one of stillness and connection, where time moves not in seconds, but in seasons. What we see as a mushroom is only the brief whisper of something much greater, a single note in a symphony written underground. As you rest now, imagine those endless threads winding softly through the dark earth. They touch roots, stones, and streams, linking each to the other in a vast and living memory. Every breath you take carries molecules that once passed through leaves, through soil, through the hidden networks that bind all things together. Even in sleep, you are part of that story. The fungi remind us that nothing in nature stands alone. Life thrives through connection, through the giving and taking that continues unseen. What falls returns. What fades becomes foundation. In their slow and quiet way, fungi teach that renewal is not an event, but a process, one that moves through every moment of existence. The forest beneath you is never still. It is growing, dreaming, and rebuilding in silence. Let that thought carry you now. The world beneath is alive, patient, and kind. Its threads cradle the weight of mountains and the breath of trees. They remember every footstep and return every echo to the soil. If you listen carefully, you might almost hear it, the faint hum of the earth itself, breathing through the networks below. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, just breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy, and let the quiet forests cradle your thoughts. Good night.